Here's a topic that I wish someone had taught me before I became an executive: how to manage myself. It's sort of assumed that you can manage yourself, and I'll talk about what that means in a minute, but not everybody can. A lot of folks, self included, need some maintenance, need some thinking and processing and some body work, some stretching, some exercise, a good night's rest, all that sort of stuff. So what do you do, I'm curious, to manage your own energetic levels or manage your own emotions, manage your own stress in the work environment, in the day-to-day work environment? It's a part of the job, I think, especially if you're a leader or you're in management. Thinking about how you're managing yourself is really important. And I think I didn't really know this. I didn't get that lesson or that memo in college, never got it in the executive world until much later when I started working with a really great executive coach. I realized that I need to make sure I get a good night's sleep. I realized having too much coffee or caffeine during the day is not necessarily the right move. So really getting clear about how to manage yourself so that you can be successful is important. I think we're a constant study too. It changes in the years. As you get older, sometimes things happen. You may not have as much energy as you had, or you might get better at sleeping, or maybe take better care of yourself. You might have more energy at some point. The point is, managing yourself is really important. So as a coach, of course, I plan to talk about that in my book, The Accidental Executive, code word. Maybe that's not the real title, but you're on the ground floor right now, so you get to hear the rough draft title. A couple of things I think about too in that context of taking care of yourself are doing this thing I call the executive pause. I think it's been well documented. I've read it in a few different ways, but for me, what it looks like is I'm heading into a meeting, touching something physical. This is a table here. Touching something physical and thinking for a minute, what do I need from this meeting? Or what do I want to create in this next interaction that I have? This phone call, even an email. What do I need to do right now? What's really important? Grounding into now, not the swirl of all the potentials, the swirl of ideas that are flying around, but really grounding into what's key right now. 1 or 2 seconds. I'll do it with you right now. Here we go. Executive pause. I'm thinking, what am I going to say in this video that's going to be helpful to you? Okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to talk about energy levels. How do you manage your own energy level? So if you're like most folks, you might feel a little bit of up and down throughout a given day. A lot of folks get tired after lunch, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we get sleepy, right? Or in the morning, you're full of energy and vitality, and then you're tapped out by 6 o'clock, you're completely toast. So knowing that, it's important to think about when you schedule important meetings, when you say yes to certain meetings or certain important interactions or events, and not to just go along for the ride. Like, oh, I guess they scheduled it at 6 o'clock. I have to do that. You can say, hey, is it possible that we could do that in the morning? I'm going to be a lot more alive at that point in time. Or maybe you're not a morning person. Can we do that after lunch when I've kind of gotten through the bulk of my email for the day or whatever I need to do? Managing your own energy levels and communicating about those is really important. So a couple of things you can do. These are quick, easy, down and dirty. Drink lots of water. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you don't just sit for hours and hours. Make sure you're getting up every 40 minutes, 30 minutes or so, even if it's just to stretch a little bit, you know? Walk around the office, walk around the block if you're at home. A lot of folks are working at home now. Walk around that block. Take a minute. Look at the trees. Look at the parked cars, whatever your environment has, okay? Spend a little time with a fresh perspective. That's helpful. It's a reset. Naps. A lot of folks are fond of naps. I don't do quite a nap, but I do like this 10-minute eye pillow thing where I lay down, have a little ambient music, 10 minutes with an eye pillow, and boy, I feel refreshed. I feel like I had a 30 or 40-minute nap. Complete reset of the brain. Instead of me looking at this phone right now or my screen or whatever, I'm able to actually have that fresh reset. So maybe you can't do that in the office, but I would say most places you probably could. Find a little quiet corner or something where you could just kind of zone out, close your eyes, allow for the information barrage to take a back seat, and see if you can find yourself for a minute. Just kind of reset. So that's a couple tips on managing your energetic levels: exercise, good night's sleep, good diet. Of course, all those things matter, but we have to do our best, right? Like all things in moderation, including moderation.